Hey everyone, it's Tucker from Delta Drive Design. Welcome back. I know it's been a while since I posted, I want to say probably about September, October last year, so say 6 months. A little update, winter, I always struggle with winter because, between holidays and the crazy shutdowns I do at work and then the cold where you just want to stay inside and do nothing, veg out in front of the TV. It's kind of hard, for me at least, to get content out. But I did do a few things over the winter, and I'll probably post some videos on that. Like, this spring I built a shed, and I've got a time lapse on that. If anyone cares, I'll put that up. And then I picked up a little Jeep, which we'll look at that in a minute. And I'll probably do a video on that one too. But here we are today. So it's spring. And it's getting close to boating season. So I've got a project I've been working on for a couple years, just a little bit here and there, and I haven't finished it, which is a common problem for I think most of us. But so I've got these pontoon seats for a pontoon that a few of our buddies own together. We bought it years ago, and once we moved it to Colorado, it just rotted. I think the changes in humidity just dried it all out, and then all the decks and stuff rotted and upholstery rotted. And it was just old. I mean, it was like 1990s. Pontoon, but it's a good pontoon. It's got good bones, so we're gonna get it fixed up. We already got a new deck on it, which I did a little time lapse on that. That was probably fall last year too. But the seats, that's my responsibility. I volunteered to do those. So what we're gonna do, first things first. So I made one of the little seats. I went ahead and did a pattern on it. So I'm gonna do kind of a fancy upholstery job on it. A diamond pattern for kind of anywhere where your skin touches. So that way you don't stick to it quite as much when you're wet and covered in sunscreen. And so I've got this diamond or this carbon fiber style marine vinyl. And I put a diamond upholstery or sew pattern on it with I think it's like a 300 weight top stitch on it. And then I've got three different colors. I got this whitish silver, taupe. Or it's like a cream color kind of. And that one is because we found with the different upholstery jobs over the years that dark colors suck in Colorado sun. It's just they get so much hotter. So we want to go with some lighter colors, at least for the primary skin contact patches. So we've got this pattern or this color for the bulk of it. I think I've got 200 yards over there, maybe 100 yards of that. 100 feet of that. Actually, I don't know. I got a lot of that. And then I've got silver for kind of accents. And I really wanted the blue, but I know, like I just said, the dark colors are really hot in Colorado. So I chose blues for the areas where they're least likely to contact skin. Because with this style of seat, it's got this big bolster on the back, and then it's got this kind of sunken spot. Where ultimately it's not exposed very much because this cushion right here lives right here. So, it goes like that. So you won't end up seeing the bottom 3 inches. You'll only see this little spot here. So that's a good spot to get that blue in there that I wanted. And so I've got the backs will look like this. So I'll have the bolster for your back, and skin contact will be white and silver, and then blues here. And so that's the design I'm going to do and repeat it on the various different seats. So that one's the smallest seat, which I may end up having to redo because I think we're changing our layout a little bit. But hopefully I can find a way to reuse that because I don't want to redo it. And then we got 2 big bench seats. They're 8 foot long, or total overall 8 foot, but the actual cushion I think is 80 inches long. And so, it's twice the length of that one. So I'll just end up repeating that pattern twice on that. And then the seat cushions are, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches longer maybe. Yeah, I think these are 36. I think that's 32. So we'll just do the same pattern. I'll just make this portion wider. But today's video isn't to do this. This is probably so this is right. We're going to take to Home Depot, get some plywood. I'll do a longer video on it. But yeah, this is Blitzy. It's a Jeep I picked up early this year, late last year. And yeah, it runs, it drives, so let's take it for a spin. Alrighty, well we got some wood. Took a Blitzy, the Jeep, out for a spin. Took a little longer than I expected because everyone wants to talk to you when you got the FC on the road. Let's go ahead and get this off. What we're going to do is we're going to rip one sheet into 3-inch strips, and that'll be used to build up the frame and get it glued and nailed together. Let's get these off onto some sawhorses and get to work. Alright, now we're going to try to rip a 2x4 piece up in my loft, which I haven't done this long before, so hopefully I didn't screw myself by making the loft too small. Alright, so we got all the pieces cut, or most of them, so we're going to go ahead and lay them out, get them nailed together. Alright, we got it all, at least the base of it all put together. Did run into a few issues. I ended up using particle board because MDF, all they had was 3/4, and I wanted some 3/4, some 1/2 inch. And it was also really expensive. It was like 45 or 49 bucks a sheet, and I didn't need MDF necessarily for this part of it. I will need it for the spoil board, but I'll pick that up once they have 1/2 inch back in stock. But yeah, so I ended up going with particle board, which will be fine because it's sealed. It'll hold the vacuum just as well as MDF, and maybe be a little lighter. And I was able to get 5/8, so that'll also help with the weight. but it wasn't as rigid as I was expecting. I was hoping these 3-inch pieces would hold it. Yeah, the 3-inch pieces would straighten the length of it. That's why I did the full pieces in the long distance to kind of help with that strength that direction. But it's too flexible, so it just will conform to whatever shape the base is in or the flat piece is in, which is fine. I mean, I shimmed it up and straightened it as much as I could for this layer. But to put the top layer on, I need it as straight as possible. So I'm not going to try to glue it here. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the CNC table because it's a horizontal surface. So of course, it's full of shit right now. Crap, pardon me. But yeah, so I'll get it cleared off. I'll pull off the plasma. I've been using half of it for plasma and the other half for storage. Oh, someone's alarm's going off. But yeah, so I'm going to go get this cleared off. And then I've got reinforcing angle iron that goes across. That's my structure. And I'll drill and tap that for a bunch of 1/4-inch screws. That way I can go through and I can level that piece and get it all locked in. And then once it's level, then I can glue that top piece on. That way it's as level as possible. That way when I cut the spoil board, I surface the spoil board, I won't remove that much material, just whatever's out in that particular setup. But all right, well, good deal. Let me get this cleaned off and get that piece in here, and see you in the next clip. Alrighty, we went ahead and drilled and tapped 18 holes throughout the base of this into the steel frame. That way I put a 1/4-20 leveling screw in it. So I'm going to go ahead and weight this down because there's a little flex in it. That way it's sitting on the leveling screws. And then we'll go through and we'll level with all 18 points. And then that way we know the surface is flat, and we can go and glue the top on. And then go from there. Well, and actually before that, I need to drill some cross holes in all of these chambers. I'm going to have 4 vacuum chambers, and I want some cross holes this direction so these can breathe. So I'll do some like 1-inch holes. That way I don't compromise the strength of these pieces. So all right, go ahead and get that done. Alrighty, I got it leveled. It took me like 12 times because every time I got halfway through, I'd realize that I didn't have enough weight and it was popping up somewhere, which then changed something over here. Then I'd weigh it down and then this side pop up. So eventually I got enough weight on here to bring it down and get rid of the memory that it had formed, carrying out on the sawhorses. So it's now leveled enough, within 10 or 20 thou across the surface. And I think I'm happy enough with that. I can get the top layer glued down. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull all this weight off and hope it doesn't move too much. And then somehow, by myself, get that piece on, put glue on, drop it down. Hopefully don't smear it everywhere. And we'll see how it goes. All right, let's do that. Alright, I got it up here by myself. I'm going to use these pieces to space it off so that I can get in there and get glue on. We got some blocks cut. I'm going to put a block in every quadrant or every little cubby to give it a little more structure, a little sandwich separation between the layers. So that way when I pull vacuum, it doesn't have a tendency to collapse the layers. But problem is, I thought I had more glue. I bought this little bottle because I thought I had a gallon somewhere from a previous project, but then I'm remembering now that it was only like 1 inch left in the gallon, and I threw it away because it was old. And so now I don't have enough glue to do this. So we're going to go to Home Depot at some point. It's like, I don't know, 10:30 on a work night, so I'm not going to do it tonight, obviously. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully, and we'll get this glued up and put together. See you tomorrow, or maybe. All right, got the goods. Let's glue this thing together. Everyone, welcome back. Let that dry for a couple nights. And funny story, I just found my glue that I thought I had, so I didn't need to buy more glue. But it's alright, this one's starting to develop a skin. I'll take it. Anyways, so I've got it all set up. Got it, all the weight removed. And I kind of re-leveled again. I'm not terribly happy with the level. Because right now I've just got it like C-clamped in a few places. So this is exposing that I'm going to have to... Not only do I need leveling screws, I need things to hold it down. So I'm going to have to come up with a solution to essentially add every leveling screw. Also have a bolt to hold it down. But it's good enough to try. I mean, we're within like 20 thou in this general area, which is good enough for what I'm doing. But I need to cut out a test piece for work, and I thought this would be a good test for this table. So I just went ahead and glued down some piece of like wall material I got. It's from the scrap bin, and I ran a test program just now. Think it's good. We're gonna give it a try, so let's do it. Alright, I did something weird. I don't know. This is why I'm testing it. It got off, but I also stopped and started it a few times, so I think I may have done it. But we re-zeroed it off one of the holes. We're going to try again. Found it. Watch this nut. See, this gap is changing because this nut seems to have worked itself loose. So let's fix that. Alright, we'll give it another try. Now that I got that fixed, tighten the nut. I set the set screw so we can't back off on it. Alright, here we go. All done. Give that a test tomorrow at work. Alrighty. Well, let's see. Oh, turn on. Next thing's next. We're going to go ahead and finish out this video by cutting that upholstery template and get back to the upholstery. Alright, see you tomorrow or a few days later.